Destiny.
Now we have the players walking out on stage, Rossi and Flabin coming up. Keep in mind, this Rossi is different from the SK Rossi that you guys are used to seeing. There's always a couple of questions about that, so we gotta address that too.
Exactly, and welcome our lovely YouTube audience to Valorant Challenger South Asia. Today's matchup is going to be between Reckoning Esports and Lethal Esports. You've got a deadly amount of experience on one hand, and you've got deadly amount of firepower on the other hand. I understand Lethal Esports got completely dominated in their first matchup, but this might just be the redemption matchup Lethal Esports were looking for. But if Lethal Esports don't show up today, one thing's for sure, they're gonna disappoint all their fans.
I like how Wuya did like a Naruto run to get out there.
Yeah.
And it's quite obvious that he is an anime fan. But Lethal Esports will need to mount an anime level comeback if they want their story to have this redemption arc. And of course it is a bit difficult, but with their coaches along with them, they should be having all they need to get this game underway.
Ooh, the coaches, man, this is something that's gonna add so much difference, because coaches might say, oh, okay, all right,
okay,
I'm gonna cut myself off there, because that's okay, interesting. I mean, Reckoning Esports, they're already starting off with a nice little heat over here. They're having a competitive scenario built for themselves in real life.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The spoilers for the map are also out. We just saw them loading up Pearl, and that kind of gives us a good idea of what the map needed to look like, right before it even appears on the screen. Pearl to start things off.
Ooh, Pearl to kick things off, and this is what we talked about, right? The last time they played against OG, this kicked things off on Haven, but this time it's going to be Pearl. So again, there might just be a glimmer of hope from the side of Lethal Esports. And yeah, the first map is going to be chosen by Lethal, but the first map is also going to be banned by Lethal. And I told you, we literally talked about this, Crips. There's a high chance Haven might not be picked this time, and Haven might be banned, and Lethal Esports do exactly that. And the first pick is going to be Pearl.
Oh, I mean, I was kind of hoping they would pick Haven, you know, let it play, learn from their mistakes. It would be like a Goku-ish story, you know, you want to fight your opponent at 100% power, you don't ban out their weaknesses or whatever. That being said, Ascent picked up. I'm honestly getting a little tired of Ascent because we see very similar strats from Lethal and Orangutan, but then again, the way that these two teams execute it, it's really different. The output is really different. Icebox as the decider, there you have it. You must be pretty happy. You've been waiting to see some Icebox.
But I really doubt if we're going to be going towards the decider map, man. I mean,
yeah, that's a different story.
Considering what the odds are, it's really tough for us to see the decider map. But let's see, man. Maybe Lethal Esports, they have something cooking up, and I'm going to let them cook because, again, they've fanned out Haven. So that means they know one thing, that whatever they planned on the map of Haven has been completely read like a book by the players of OG. So it's time to switch things up and go towards Pearl. So Pearl is going to be the pick of Lethal Esports, and also a lot of hopes from the side of Lethal Esports. Without wasting any time, we're going to move inside the agent select, and let's see what type of an agent select we're going to be able to see over here.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that historically, Reckoning Esports and Lethal Esports have faced each other before.
Phoenix?
Okay then, Voya. That's a nice little curveball.
We didn't see this coming. Voya especially, I didn't think that he's going to be playing the duelist role. I mean, he's played Sentinel in the past where he liked to play Chamber, but it seems like, okay, he's going to go with the duelist, and Deadly 10 on the Killjoy. He's been taken off the duelist role, at least inside this map.
Yeah, and even if there was a duelist picked, I would have expected something like a Neon to be more prevalent in a map like Pearl. Phoenix? Now that's unpredictable. It's gonna be up to Reckoning to let him farm as much alt orbs as possible so that he can keep getting his run it back again and again. Before we jump into this game, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that somewhere in November last year, Reckoning Esports and Lethal faced each other again. Of course, the lineups were different that time. Fishball and Zeke were playing for Reckoning, but at that time, Reckoning Esports won 2-1. Lethal Esports were able to take a map off, but lost the series entirely. Let's see if they can get their revenge this time.
Oh boy, here we go. First round.
Standing ahead.
To start things off, instantly, recon dodge been sent forward near the double doors area, and they really are hungry to get this control. And that's what Lethal Esports are exactly going to do. On the attack, they're looking quite deadly and quite bloodthirsty. Flabbin's heard the presence, and he's got the Sheriff out in his hands. Finds the first pick. We'll go for the second, but Kel'Thuzad would delete him out the game. They also get the B-side control in the hands, so that means Reckoning Esports, they will be pushed on a retake.
Oh, the planter will die! Rossi burned alive. He plants the spike at the cost of his life. Warrior, though, his second frag of the round, and he is on a roll. At least Shivy and Lucia have fallen back all the way towards the bottom of a B ramp, but will they be able to defend the spike from this position? Yes, the gravity will delays them for a little bit, but Voya is trying to cover the distance. The frenzy at this range is deadly. He doesn't even try to go for the reload. He's fighting them right off the bat. Shivy now has to do everything. Half defuse already done, and the odds are against him.
But now it seems like the odds are going to be stacked with him. As soon as the frenzy was closing in the distance, I knew something bad was going to happen, but Shivy clutches it out for the team. And Lethal Esports starting off quite strong with the pistol round, and everyone's hyped up on Lethal. They know how much this round, how much this start means to them. It's a huge glimmer of hope inside this map. Reckoning Esports with the sort of lineup they've brought, the double duelist, and also they've got a Jet and Phoenix. It seems like Reckoning Esports, they're just gonna shut down their minds and go for an all-out brawl against Lethal.
Yeah, and it works for them, right? If Lethal Esports are willing to let this brawl take place, then I think Reckoning Esports have a fight against them. I mean, this time too, most of the round came down to Hoya and his heroics. The really smart Molotov to kill the planter, the frenzy kill towards the back of B, and then him covering the distance without getting shot. That itself is a big deal, and Hoya did all he could to make this round possible. But Shivy, he's just jiggling around that little box, man, peeking up and down as if he's playing whack-a-mole along with the Lethal Esports, along with the Reckoning Esports players.
And we're already off to a technical timeout. Someone's having some sort of issues, and it seems like it's going to be Rossi. We don't exactly know what the issue is, but this gives us time to talk about their Asian select. So, on the other hand, we only saw ASTER and Sage for some sort of a map control, right? So, of course, Sage Wall is going to be utilized as a piece of utility where they can try and take the map control. But just ASTER on the map off Pearl is quite questionable, considering B-side requires a little bit more visual denial utilities, but I want to see how this ASTER is going to be used.
Yeah, actually, I'm even concerned about the fact that there's no Viper or Harbor
exactly.
because those massive walls of Viper and Harbor are quite useful in clearing out all these areas and just blocking off the vision. It lets you advance so much further into enemy territory without having to take the first duel at long range. So, I think those would have been a game changer as well. I mean, it's a bit of a risk picking up Phoenix like this, right? I think I do remember seeing one team in VC Lock-in run the Phoenix on Pearl.
Yeah, it was Zelsis' team. Which team was Cloud9? We saw Zelsis on the Phoenix, right? If I'm not wrong.
I am not sure. Let me look it up once again, simply because we have the time to...
I think so. It was Cloud9, and we saw Zelsis on the Phoenix. I don't 100% remember, but those are the chances. But Reckoning Esports... Here we go. On an eco. They lost the first round, but they've got the Sheriff's in play. And Hoya is looking to connect some headshots. He misses the first one. It's complete fine. Rossi will shut him down. The second Sheriff instantly falls back. Deadly 10 on his Sentinel roll. This is, of course, a huge surprising factor for me. Shivy's gonna drone out the arts area. And with this agent select, this is what I was about to say. With this sort of an agent select, one thing is kind of clear from Lethal Esports is that they're going to put a lot of pressure on mid and also the A side, because with just ASTER, it's tough to take the B side control. So A side is probably going to be the pressure point for Lethal.
The A side is already under assault. They got this kill towards Art. Walled off the retake position, so nobody flanking from Art can come behind them and shoot them back. Also, they've already smoked off Dugout and the flower path region, so they can safely plant, even take post-plant positions towards the A-long region. Meanwhile, Rossi is playing in this one-handed angle, hoping to get them both. Harsh with a burst will get rid of him eventually, but hey, he's done his job. He secured his team into the site, and now it's just down to Flappin.
Yeah, the last man alive, the last glimmer of hope with the Marshall is not going to be able to pull off much. Kilthazad will be able to clean things up. Lethal Esports, another round on the board as expected. And they're also going to continue with the bonus guns that they have secured from the previous round. So that means opponent's going to have a huge advantage when it comes to the guns part. They're going to have the Vandals and Phantoms on the deck. Tough to counter, but not impossible.
So I did look up what you spoke about, right? It was Zelsis on Phoenix, Cloud9 versus Paper Rex, and Cloud9 defeated Paper Rex 13-4. Especially when Cloud9 started on the attacking side, they were really dominant. So yes, Lethal Esports can have their run of the land for now, but they better get as many points as possible before the second half begins. That's when the Phoenix really shines, you know. And here we have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are already running it back. Waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting for them to get closer. There are two Lethal Esports members who are trying to enter the double door region and even push us back as the connector, but run it back won't get anything.
Flapping on the Jet, he's on an aggressive angle. He finds the planner too. Spikes being dropped, that's huge. Lucia is able to sneak all the way deep inside corner, and he will find one. Ball region is completely cleared. Lucia with a demonic play. or at least in a monstrous play, he completely eats the players alive. Deadly 10. He's able to rotate on the side. It's a 3-on-3 situation. Reckoning Esports, they are having the guns advantage, but still they lost out on 2 players, so that's not a good news. Of course, Spectres will try to close up the distance and try and take it up close and personal. This is up to the players of Lethal Esports to try and pull something off. They are currently inside the driver's seat with the guns advantage, but Lucia's got a Vandal in the hand. He's only on 10 HP, should be taken care of easily, but Rossi closes up the distance. And as I said, the Spectres will try to get up close and personal. They will need to find a deal. They will need to find a way to counter these things, and Master's there to follow it up.
And Rossi, he redeemed himself so well in this round. Yes, his positioning while he was approaching the B site was slightly baity, which resulted in Flablin getting a kill onto his teammate and Rossi not being able to trade it out. But he made up with it. He made up for it in so much better ways by getting all the way towards the bottom of that halls region and getting them both while they were in the middle of this reload. It just happens that Voya and Flab and both the imports were reloading at that time, and Rossi's able to get them all. And then he covers the distance again, jiggling around that little sage wall, and just trying to be as annoying as possible to the retaking Reckoning Esports members.
That's a little problematic, though. I don't like that both those duelists were just stacked behind the elbow. I don't like that.
I mean, I can't even blame them, right? They just got such unfortunate instance of timing over there when both of them were reloading.
Both of them were reloading, but usually, if you've seen in the lock-ins, on this type of execute, they always do have at least one player on the site and the other playing to the back site. So, yeah. I mean, you gotta have that type of a default setup. So, of course, the positioning was a little lacking from Reckoning, and they got punished for that because one player was able to sneak all the way inside the site, and those are 2 players who were only holding the B site. But it's fun. It's just the first 3 rounds on the map. We can't really say anything. We can't really judge a lot. But so far, Lethal Esports, they're having a fiery start of their day.
Yeah, this doesn't look like the same team we saw the other day. Lucia once again getting the kill. And even Deadly's out. Deadly was one of the only players who had a gun in this round saved up from the previous one. So having a kill on either side, both on B site as well as the connector, Lethal Esports have set themselves up for a lovely little B hit. The Cosmic Divide makes things even easier.
It's crazy how basic sort of a strategy Lethal Esports are just using. They've got some players lurking around on double doors. They're just taking the B-side control, putting the wall up, getting the plant down. But Reckoning Esports, they're still not able to read through it. They're still not able to find any sort of counters because the duels are just being taken so well from Lethal Esports all the time. They're just hitting them when they're not expecting the most. And Reckoning Esports, once again, it seems like taking this retake back in their hands, taking this site back in their hands seems next to impossible. They're on the search, they're on the prowl. Voya's only got a sheriff in the hand, but he's not going to be able to do much because those players are just playing so disciplined. Rossi peeks out, shuts the first man down, and Reckoning Esports will back off once again, going for a save.
At least they managed to recover the other Vandal as well, so Reckoning Esports don't suffer too much of an economic setback. But yeah, I love the way that Lethal Esports are approaching their rounds this time. They start off with heavy presence towards mid, either towards Art or Double Door. It doesn't matter which part they show presence towards. But what they do next is the more exciting part. They don't always commit after showing that presence towards mid. They fall back. At least in this round, they all went back towards the market region, and they took B via the B long area, with all of them just rushing down that long corridor. And all this time, Reckoning were wondering, is it going to be a B crunch from both the sides, or is it going to be a 5-man hit from long?
Oh yeah, nice
flash. Even a gravity well to make sure that he confirms the kill.
That was a nice flash and peek, and that's where Phoenix is just so nice when it comes to those aggressive plays. You got the flash in hand, that's going to pop in your face. You don't even have a lot of time to react to it and look back. Flabin is holding the sewers area, spots out a toe. Shoots the toe as well. It's going to just soften him up a little bit, but nothing taken away from that. And Marshall's going to find the opening on the B side once again. The B side's just so vulnerable. These players are peeking out from Reckoning Esports. They're trying to take the aggressive duels, but always falling short.
And then you've got Reckoning Esports towards the top of heaven. They've got the right idea. They're expecting a B push, but they don't know exactly where their opponents are. Oh, Flabin gives away the sound cue. He's going to be subject to a triple peek any second now. No way he can take this hit, but Hoya is able to back him up. And they somehow double up a kill each. Hoya with the triple turns the tides. And now Shivy all of a sudden is left to his own devices.
The unexpected flank hits them once again. They're not able to do much. Lethal Esports, Shivy's the only man left and alive. Don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, Shivy will be cleaned up. Reckoning Esports, they finally open up the fray for themselves and they get one round on the board. That should be a little confidence booster for them. Woya and Flab, and these two duelists, again, they're always playing together. Or at least trying to play together.
Yeah, and they traded so well with each other. You see, that kind of fighting, you can't really prepare for that one. That one is just in the moment adjustments and trading each other out with a little bit of flair. Now, it does make sense that these both players have played together before, so their natural coordination is a bit better. But you have to give credit to Lethal Esports. They had an amazing approach at the start. Run it back committed this time. Let's see if Voya is able to get anything done. Flash goes through, and they're all prepared for this one. They're just so passive. Lethal Esports really want to get rid of this ultimate from Phoenix before they make any sort of commitments.
And that's a nice aggressive push coming out from their side too. Flabin gonna find one and just like a thief in the night, just run away in the back. Woya, with the help of his wall, they would be able to get back to safety. At least the information was gathered that everyone was stuck, or everyone was just there outside B. They've got a huge piece of information, and now you can see every single player, they're trying to play off of contact. And maybe they also know there's a high chance the A presence might just be shown over here. You can see one player, Voya, is just stacked in double doors. You never know when the hit's going to be coming their way.
Slowly creeping towards the A side, where the only defender happens to be Harsh for the moment. And I'm pretty sure he won't even get to do much. He's most likely going to get smoked out. Maybe Deadly 10's rotation could help out a little bit, but Deadly 10 has bigger problems to deal with. That's going to be Marzel, who's slowly lurking in from Art. Of course, the turret's going to get in the way of Marzel. But with the smokes already being deployed, the Hunter's Fury now comes in. And oh my god, he's getting sucked inside the Hunter's Fury. Shivy blows apart Harsh. Harsh can't even fight back. And just like that, Lethal Esports have the site, but they need to go for the plant right away. Another Molotov, another denial. Shivy gets away with the nick of... just in the nick of time, but is there enough time to go for the plant? He just about gets it by the skin of his teeth. And they're so low on HP, they will get devoured. Reckoning making Lethal so uncomfortable in rounds like these.
Nice little round coming out from Reckoning Esports. Another one, another retake successfully done. Great read from their side, but I just love the Gravity Well and Hunter's Fury combination that they used to get rid of the man in the back. And this early aggression really just gave them a lot of information and pretty much just stopped the entire aggression that was about to be there on the B site. So this aggression to aggression counter from the side of Reckoning Esports really worked out for them.
Exactly. And because Lethal Esports decided to go towards the extremity aggression instead of what they did in round number 5, they have to suffer this fate. You see, in round number 5, you had Kiltazad going in towards Art and then rushing towards the Link. At the same time, the remaining members of Lethal Esports were challenging double doors and getting to its connector. So they crunch up that area, and that forces Lethal Esports, that forces Reckoning Esports to take such passive angles. And the completely opposite thing of that happens in rounds like these, when Lethal Esports do not go for mid control and are instead challenging B directly, where the AWPer lies in wait.
Callback's been made. Mid control really needs to be there from Lethal Esports. And are they trying to pull off something that they tried to do in the previous round? They've got a couple of players already pushed up onto A main. For example, Hirsch, he's just going for that jiggle peek. He's going for the contact play. Gets the contact, gets the information. That's quite vital. And both fall back. Art's control's denied once again. The turret play's just done so well. Turret on the contact. As soon as the turret pops out, instantly the nanoswarm's activated. That's going to at least delay the push for a while and also help the entire rotation to come back in. Once again, Deadly 10. Oh, he's caught in an awkward angle. At least finds one before he gets taken down. But Lethal Esports able to follow up with 2, and that's quite huge. Now it's a 3-on-4, and Reckoning Esports, they're caught in such an awkward situation. Masters all the way in the backside with just a fade.
Nice.
Doesn't have a lot to back him up, and Rossi will shut him down. Those duels are being won by Lethal Esports and Reckoning Esports. They don't have a lot to answer.
Flamin once again won't even get to save the op. Lethal Esports, I love the way they made this round work for themselves. As soon as they figured out where the opper is, they avoid him like the plague and they start heading towards mid once again. This is so different for Reckoning Esports because earlier they wouldn't have had to deal with this. Earlier, Reckoning Esports were going for mid-control first and then the side. But this is the opposite. They take mid-control somewhere near the 40-second mark. And that means that Lethal Esports have the edge over here. As they are walking inside, a slow op was thrown to make sure that Harsh and Master couldn't really trade with each other. It slows them down in their tracks and basically renders the crossfire useless. Because it's not exactly a crossfire where both the players are holding 90-degree angles with each other, right? One of them is playing for contact, the other one is going for swing. And when there's a slow op under the guy who's ready to swing, he can't really play along with his other guy. And that demolishes whatever setup that Reckoning Esports have in that area. Lethal Esports are able to trade out so well, simply because that one slow op was thrown at the right time.
But timeout from Reckoning Esports, they're realizing things that they're trying to pull off here aren't working off on the defending side. So again, Reckoning Esports want to solidify or at least get their defense up on the defending side. So that's why this timeout was called. And I personally feel like the only way to counter Lethal Esports is aggression to aggression, fire to fire. That's what OG did. And that's the only way, at least it seems like for now.
Yeah, and maybe Reckoning Esports will go for that reckless aggression. They've got Flabin with the AWP, even Hoya ready with the flashes.
Oh my god, that's what they exactly did! They've got the trap set up! And with a nice little pop flash, they peek out and once again get rid of the entire rush Lethal Esports was trying to bring to the table. A good read from Reckoning.
And every time Lethal have tried to challenge B directly via the B long area, they have failed. Reckoning Esports almost always get the opening frags over here. And this time it's such a huge deficit. 2v4. Flabin's about to welcome Shivi once again, but Shivi this time sidesteps the shot. Peaks much wider than anticipated. That being said, it's up to Lucia to make this work. The dink comes through. No trades over here. They've balled it down to a 2v2. This is amazing. Voya doesn't have any backup. Deadly Dan is far away. It's a 1v1 fight. And it comes down to this. Shivi still wins it out. No way Lethal Esports can clutch this out.
30 seconds left.
A lead given away. And Reckoning Esports now once again back in the awkward footing. Cosmic Divide utilized too. That's huge for Lethal Esports. They're going to get the plant down. Deadly's not going to have a lot of info. Quickly peeks out, gets the pick, instantly falls back. Huge. Places the alarm bot as well in case if someone's going to push the limits and also push to all the way in the backside. Then Deadly 10 will try to do something interesting. The spike's going to go down and Deadly 10 second guessing himself a little bit. Doesn't want to exactly rely on the info that his ears are giving him. Instead relies on his eyes and comes out on top. A 1v2 clutch to save the day.
Sheesh. It was so weird watching Deadly and his opponent just run circles around each other. It's almost like they were playing Ring Around the Rosies. And I'm glad that Deadly is able to clutch this one out. It would be heartbreaking if Reckoning Esports lose that 2 versus 4 round. They had a phenomenal start given to them by Voya and Harsh. If this round slipped out of their hands, it would be crushing for Reckoning Esports.
Get out of my way.
3-5 is the score, and Lethal Esports just running straight down the mid. This time, even the turret wasn't available. They were trying to play off of the alarm bot. Aggression's way too on the point, and that's why the first man's gonna fall down as well. But Reckoning Esports, they're there. They're present. They're gonna take the fight to their faces. They're not scared of anything. But the gravity well was just way too perfect. It's gonna stun both of those players. Nothing found from them. Voya with his ultimate is trying to find at least some victims on the board, but he's not going to be able to do so. Ultimate fades away. Voya once again back inside secret. We'll try to go towards backside. We'll try to go towards the flower pot area. And Lethal Esports, they back off.
Yeah, but at least this time Lethal Esports have the advantage. Plenty of time as well. And even if they end up going towards the B side, they'll find Deadly by himself. No backup available for either of these players. I don't like the fact that they're playing by themselves, you know. It would be wiser of them to stick together and play for the trades, but who on earth needs trading when Deadly's capable of murdering everybody on his own? He's a brutal killing machine. It's borderline unfair that he gets to walk away with frags like these when he's clearly supposed to be on the disadvantage.
Clean bursts to shut down or at least put two of his enemies in grave. And now both of them, they're working together. They're trying to rely on the team play. And Voya is going to be more than enough to clean it up. Another round on the board for Reckoning Esports. They're looking pretty nice so far, at least. They're able to gain their confidence back inside the game and also claw their way back up on the scoreboard. And they're trying to close up the lead that Lethal has made so far.
Satisfying.
One dead.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, these frags by Rossi are impressive, but come on. This is unfair, man. Deadly has no business getting shots like these off. And I was concerned, you know, by the fact that him and Voya were playing away from each other. Still, some of these rounds, they don't make sense. This is not logic, this is pure magic by Deadly 10. He's weaving a spell that puts Lethal Esports in a very, very dire situation. They're about to run out of money. This is the last of the weapons that Lethal Esports can afford. After this, they are broke.
Matchup's quite close. None of us saw this coming.
You should run.
Reckoning Esports, they're really getting the run for their money, that's for sure. And they're able to at least counter in the previous two rounds. So that's working a little nice for them. The lockdown was invested right there to stop the entire push. But that's a nice little reroute coming in from their side too. They're going for the mid control, and they also got the R control in their hands. Once again, as I said, looking at their composition, it's clearly indicated that they are really going to force, or really going to put a lot of pressure on the A side. And that's what they're exactly doing. As their composition indicates, they are going to put the pressure. But Voya, unfortunately, flashes himself with his own flash, and he will not be rewarded with a lot. He will get one, though. But his teammates, they were not able to trade it out successfully. Rossi was there on the other hand. This is a nice little crossfire setup from their side. Lethal Esports, they're relying heavily on that crossfire. Here comes the counter. Lockdown, and Deadly 10 follows it up. This man is cracked up. He's not missing any shots. 5 bullets in the mag. And he's looking to put every single of his opponents in the graves.
Rossi needs to hurry. There's a smoke in the way. Way too much utility to deal with as well. And the defuse is in the bag. Reckoning Esports make the retake work so beautifully. The lockdown initially that was invested by Lethal Esports clears up the site, but Reckoning Esports, they hold their ground. Lethal went for all the way from A long back towards mid and art, and then they wall off the connector region, which is something that they have been doing, except this time Reckoning knew how to deal with this. They had a flanker coming in from A long. We had I believe it was Flabin on the move who was coming in with the flank. The rest of them just came in from Flowerpot and planted the lockdown, forcing Lethal Esports towards art, the one area that they were hoping to avoid in the first place. And Lethal get a taste of their own bitter medicine.
Flabin's op isn't finding those praise. And Marzel will capitalize. Deadly 10. This time the man who was proven to be so deadly has gotten rid quite early inside the round. And finally the operator answers. Flabin might just have a little smirk on his face. Finally he's able to connect some shots. Resurrection utilized from the Sage. Fallen Man will be back up on his feet once again. Now it's a 4-on-4. Reckoning Esports, they need to bring the fuel to the fire.
Yeah, but all these fightings were taking place towards Art and A long. This might give Reckoning Esports the wrong idea that A is under assault. Meanwhile, the spike is on its way towards B. Hunter's Fury committed. It's not gonna find too many people, but at least clears out the more common angles. Unfortunately, there's no smoke towards the bottom, so Flabin gets a free shot off. Even Voya's arrived here on the scene, and both these duelists are making life a living hell for Lethal. Kel'Thuzad with a little bit of rebuttal,
30
but the
seconds
spike
left.
is dropped in no man's land, and I don't think he's got enough to tackle the situation.
Oh. The moment I underestimate Flabin, he decides to shut my mouth with his operator shots with a 4K. Pretty much just saving the day for his team, being a hero, and showing his heroic presence on the entire map of Pearl. Just shutting down Lethal Esports. Kel'Thuzad was there with a lurk, but he couldn't find a lot.
Amazing rounds by Reckoning Esports. They leave mid entirely as soon as that first fight is over. They have 2 on A, 2 on B, and they're comfortable splitting up their forces like these. For some reason, Reckoning are just so good on defending B. Great shot by Flabin. Nice way to start things off. Marzel, on the other hand, has been consistently able to get a kill in this double door region, even though he peeks alone, without anyone to trade him out.
Serious dead food recovering.
Oh, but Reckoning Esports always with the equalizers, just hitting them on their faces, and Marzel is on a lurk. Marzel's sneaking all the way through the sewers area. Lethal Esports, they've got the double doors area control, and the players of Reckoning do have a little read on that, but still no confirmation just yet. And as you can see, there's only one player available on the site, and he's going to catch the player off guard. Hirsch manages to find the opening. That's a huge one. The entire attack, at least for now, has been softened up. They still want to go for the spike plant. Rossi retrieves the Phantom in the hand, wants to go for the spike plant, but he knows the enemies are a little too close. The concussion was there. The man's concussed, but Hirsch with the back of fire will shut Rossi down. It's all down to Marzel. 1v3 scenario.
Outrun me.
But he will be shut down with a flank.
Reckoning started this game with a beautiful lead, and Reckoning Esports have done a damn good job of covering the distance and taking the lead. There were clear strengths and weaknesses to both these teams, right? Reckoning Esports, whenever they try to approach mid, they almost always find the gaps in the defense of Reckoning Esports. Meanwhile, whenever they try to approach the extremities, let's say A long or B long, they always get taken down. It's borderline unfair how good Reckoning are at defending these sites, even with a single player. But let's see if Lethal Esports can do the same in the second half, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after a short break.
Came for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20 Born Magnetic.
Came for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai, and we're going to be jumping inside the second half once again. Crips, it seemed like Lethal Esports, they had quite a solid start on the first half. I mean, at least on the first few rounds, but later on, Reckoning Esports, they're getting those reads consistently, and they're able to stop all those pushes that were being made. But now, this time, Lethal Esports' armor will be tested. Is their defense as strong as their attack? That's what we're here to find out.
Oh, Voya by himself doesn't give a damn about his own safety, just walks right in. Only one smoke to assist him that covers the turret, but the rest of them are heading towards A, and Rossi's in for a rude awakening. Even Kel'Thuzad can't handle the heat.
Here.
Kel'Thuzad being shut down, and Marzel now was there in the back line, still waiting for his teammate to back him up with the rotation. But look at Voya, he's on a huge flank. He's got the frenzy in the hand too, just looking to demolish every single player that stands in his crosshair. He at least manages to find one, and Marzel will tap on the second. The skulls are being taken, the skulls are being cracked open, but Voya on the back, he's just an absolute menace.
Yeah, such an annoying player to deal with, isn't he?
Yeah.
Goes in by himself. has nobody to assist him, just his trusty curveballs, which he already used most of them up. And then, instead of joining his team, he goes on an even bigger flank to backstab Lethal Esports as they're trying to set up for this retake. So, not only do Lethal have to worry about getting pushed from the front, but also have to worry about Voya shooting them in the back. And Voya had no backup, keep in mind. Even if he went down there, that would have been a kill for Lethal Esports that doesn't go traded. Only one smoke was put there to assist him, and that too didn't help much.
And I'm not gonna lie, Voya's confidence is through the roof. This man is not scared of anything. At least at one point we can say Flabin's thinking, or at least trying to overthink his decision. But Voya, if he's committing to something, he's gonna pull it off no matter what. That's what the mentality that man's having, some Giga Chad mentality. The Lethal Esports being forced off of their own sites. They will need to give it away, and that's what they exactly do. The B site's now entirely in control of Reckoning Esports. And now they're going to play off of those post plants. So this is just so annoying for Lethal Esports. They don't even have the guts to try and do something. They don't even have anything to tank all this that's being put on the table. And Reckoning Esports, this should be an easy round for them. They're just playing so disciplined. Flapping in the front with a Bulldog. He's just mowing every single player down that's standing in front of his crosser. And Shiva's the last man alive with 12 HP.
Sheesh. He stays buried behind that box over there. Even though he's getting wall banged and spammed, he realizes that the pistols can't really do all that much damage. Even if you throw a bunch of sheriff bullets at him, it will still take a long time to kill him. Long enough for him to peek out and blow your head off. Plus, if they over-focus on Flabin a bit too much, they will come into the crosses of the rest of the Reckoning Esports players. Also because Lethal Esports don't have any smokes or any other utility to cover the gaps, they have no choice but to face Reckoning at their full strength without being able to cut off these crossfires, and that's a massive red flag.
Lethal Esports being a little proactive this time on the mid side. They want to go for an early info. You can see the Jets peeking out as well. Kel'Thuzad.
He's got the ult.
Yeah. As you just mentioned, he's also got the ult, so they're going to utilize the ult. Pretty much some basic strat. Use the ult, Phoenix ult, and try and follow it up. Try and make the trade on the site as soon as you get the entry. That's going to be a seal the deal. Get the post plant in the hand. And that's what it seems like. Yep, every single player is just going back towards the A side. They will have at least one player lurking around in the mid, because that's always a good idea to have someone on the lurk. And as I said, Reckoning Esports, that's what they at least try to do, but the utilities from the side of ASTER were used perfectly, and now they'll need to try and pull something out their sleeves, and that's what they exactly do, utilizing the Phoenix wall to make the entry, also trying to deny as much vision as possible. Flabin's quite weak, but that's not going to hinder them at all. He's still going to push all the way in the back with only 50 HP in the hand. Flabin's able to stop at least one. But that's all he's able to do.
Lethal Esports saw this attack coming from a mile away. They were still taking proactive control towards mid, peeking out of both Art as well as double doors. They didn't see anyone from Reckoning. They also had Deadly jump spotting towards the B side. Doesn't see anyone, which is a clear indication that Reckoning Esports are heading towards the A site. And as soon as that Phoenix ult was committed, what do Lethal Esports do? They take control of Art, they wall it off so they can make sure that Reckoning Esports can't do a two-pronged approach, forcing all the Reckoning members to come in from a from a main. And anyone who does try to come in from Art will meet with like 3 members of Lethal ready to intercept him.
Oh, Marzen lonely on the B side. He's got every single piece of utility placed on the surface. Voya and his duelist partner slowly and steadily looking to creep in. They've got the Astral Stars just deployed on the ground as well, so that means as soon as any sort of footsteps heard on the site, they'll either try to use the concussion or try and suck him in the gravity well. And oh, Deadly 10 was watching the flank. That's a huge flank being caught by Deadly 10. Follows it up with the other one too. Kel'Thuzad being shut down as well. Lethal Esports' entire defense is being cracked open because they wanted to be a little too proactive.
Yeah, I don't mind them being proactive, but them getting taken down by Deadly is a red flag. And them getting big-brained twice in the same round is an even bigger red flag.
Oh,
you see,
huge.
Shivy spotted them falling back towards the T-spawn area, and he gave a call out to his team that they're heading back towards A, which prompted Lethal to leave B and head towards the A site, which isn't being attacked at all. Reckoning Esports get the site for free, and the plant goes down without any resistance.
Oh. Now just flanking all the way from the attacker spawn are the players of Lethal Esports. There is a turn to deal with. That's going to give their position away, but they don't exactly know how many players are on the flank. They're straight up just running out. They should give their position away. Deadly 10 with only 30 HP. He isn't going to be able to do much, but he's already done his job for the team. It's a 4-on-3 situation, and look at Voya. Oh my god, this man is always just on the flank doing something that's completely unexpected. And Voya, with this flash, is able to just be such a menace for the players of Lethal Esports, and they're not able to find any counter for this Voya's push. Flabin was there, but it's fine. As long as they get the round in the hand, that's all that matters. Reckoning Esports, another round of the board on the attacking side.
Yeah, they just played this Lethal Esports side like a fiddle. They take it slowly. They start creeping up towards the B-long area while leaving Deadly as a counter flank. He's the one who intercepts most of the mid-aggression from Lethal Esports. And then he even convinces Shivy that Reckoning are falling back from B side and going towards A, which was a massive miscommunication. I mean, I don't really blame Shivy. He saw so many people moving across his screen. He made the right call. And anybody in his shoes would have said the same thing. But Reckoning Esports always a step ahead, go back towards where they started, get the plant for free, and as soon as they realize that most of the members of Lethal Esports are on the flank, what do? They send Voya on an even bigger counter flank. We saw him do this in the pistol round, we saw him do this over here as well. And he is just such an annoying player to deal with, man.
He's showing that unexpected aggression all the time.
Yeah.
He's bringing in that surprise element to the game that we all love to see. And Voya, as I said, this man's confidence through the roof. He's not scared of anyone. He's only got 16 kills racked up, but Flabin is on 21. He stand now true and strong for his team so far. Both these duelists are just being such a huge problem, a huge thorn in the way in the success of Lethal Esports. 6-10 is the scoreline, and now Lethal Esports are starting to get read like a book. They're getting countered so easily, and even Lethal Esports will need to bring that surprising element to the game.
Yeah, Lethal Esports haven't really been on the aggressive stance since the last few rounds. The only round they went aggressively ahead in was the previous one, and they got punished so hard for it. I mean, if that's what happens when they play aggressively, then even I would hesitate to make moves. This leaves them no choice but to hold on to their defaults. Shivy's holding B by himself. He can try to just spam that smoke, but he will be forced to fall back.
Ooh.
And they managed to get both the orbs fed to Voya. He's got the ult already.
Exactly. He was chipped up a little bit, but it's fine. He's got the second laugh line. That's run it back.
Watch out.
He'll pretty much use that and try and clear some space for his team with the help of Jet, and that's what probably he's trying to do. And yep, that's what he does. Pushing up, so aggressive, finds Lucia. His hands were caught busy. He were going for a fresh magazine, won't be able to do so. And he gets cut off. It's a 4-on-4 scenario, and Kel'Thuzad as well gets shut down. Now the trades are starting to happen back and forth. But Reckoning Esports, they're of course looking more confident because they've got the side control, and they need to play the post plant in peace. Reckoning Esports, on the other hand, Voya, as I said, unexpected aggression is always favoring this man, and now we're left with a 1-on-1 scenario.
Harsh playing that one and done angle, and that's all he needs in a 1v1. Reckoning Esports make this round work like a charm. Yes, it did get close. Lethal Esports almost had it in the bag. I feel kind of bad for Kel'Thuzad though, because he had so much utility thrown at him, man. He was just using the Cloudburst to stay alive for as long as possible. But in the process of doing that, he was able to buy enough time to let the rest of his members come through. Reckoning Esports too, they dived inside so deep, even ahead of their own utility, ahead of their own Phoenix wall. So instead of just planting and falling back towards the top of B main, they continue to push onwards and give Lethal Esports even less room to work with. It's a bit risky, but it works out for them. And now Lethal Esports broke. Reckoning can almost get map point again. Man, he's on 4 points already. 4 points of ult. He just used his ult in the last round.
Ooh. That was a quick flick on the head. The crack his skull open. What a shot, Shivy. Disgusting. Flabin Oh man, he's gonna have nightmares after that. After a shot like that, he just straight up ate the bullet. But now, even though they're having the guns advantage, they still have one Phantom on the board, and they do have a couple of ultimates. If Lethal Esports do decide to utilize those, but the chances of that happening are quite low. The Frenzy Spray is not connecting. The Phantom as well being shut down. The only glimmer of hope they had. And that's all down to the Sheriff to try and tail a tail, but I don't think so. It's even going to be possible. Retrieves the Phantom in the hand, so that might just be able to find some a little crack. But I highly doubt.
I mean, he's got the lockdown, but all by himself, there's no way that he can pull it off. I mean, as soon as he plants the lockdown, Reckoning will probably just rush him down at the same time. And even if they don't rush him down, there's death awaiting him the moment he exits that smoke. Reckoning Esports just really proficient on the B side, both in defense as well as offense. Lovely shot by Shivy, but the rest of them were able to creep up. And look at the smoke placement. They disrespect it completely, and they walk right through it as if they own this place. As if they've got their name written all over it. Voya even did not put his flash. He waited to make the first contact towards Fridge. And after that, he used it only to make sure that anyone coming in from Link gets completely smothered.
Exactly. The confidence, man. Reckoning Esports are showing against Lethal Esports is honestly just insane. Voya is not scared at all. And Lethal Esports will need to do something to bring that fearful element in the game, to make Reckoning Esports respect them for who they are. But so far, I mean, 12-6 is the score line, and a tactical timeout from Reckoning Esports, even though they're on the lead. I think so this tactical timeout's more like to get a breather and tell them, all right guys, we're doing pretty fantastic, let's keep on doing what we're doing. Because you can see, man, everyone's really happy. Even Flappin' there is vibing.
They are indeed vibing. They're very close to getting this map in the bag. Map point already.
22-9, Crips.
Keep in mind, this was Lethal Esports map pick.
Yep. And we sort of were talking about if they are going to get absolutely busted on. I mean, at least in the first half, it sort of looked like they are Lethal Esports. They're giving up a huge fight, but then later on, Reckoning Esports, they're always just there with the trade game. The team play is looking way improved on the attacking side for Reckoning Esports, and Lethal Esports, they're just not able to find a read, no matter what. Because as I said, there's always that surprising element from every single player being put up, but they're also being scared of Voya. Voya was taken out early off this time, so no duelist available for Reckoning Esports. Only 3 players will try to get the side control.
Shivy's already used his Hunter's Fury, so if they can get Deadly and Ultimate up, he's gonna have the lockdown again. They will leave Master towards the A-long area. Oh, never mind. I was assuming that Reckoning would go towards B, but they are all regrouping outside A-long. I don't like the setup from Lethal Esports though. Marzel's alone. You've got Lucia watching the water. There's no trade potential over here if Marzel gets rushed by all 3 people. Even his lockdown won't help him. He's not even looking in the right direction. What a rude surprise.
I mean, someone was supposed to watch the archer. You can't expect one guy to watch 2 angles at the same time. I understand that good presence as well. I mean, for 3 players to hold on the entire map is quite tough. But this is the time when you sort of at least try to give a little bit of piece away off the map and try and focus on what's left. But instead, Lethal Esports try to hold on to every single part of the map, and that's why now the side's given away. Shivy, the last man alive, the final glimmer of hope, the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, but he can feel that light being smothered away. It's being smothered away. And they all peek him at the same time.
A victory from Reckoning Esports on the first map inside the series against Lethal. Considering this was the map pick of Lethal Esports, they still lose. And Flappin is vibing, he's dancing, he's having a good time. Moves. He's here to play.
He's got some nice moves. Even waved a little high to the camera. That's a good way to start things off, especially for Reckoning Esports' first game in the circuit. Lethal Esports, on the other hand, still unable to break the curse, still unable to get a win on the board.
Man, I feel really sad for Lethal Esports. On the second half, if I'm not wrong, they were only able to squeeze in one round, right? That's what all they got. 7-5 was the first half. On the second half, they were only able to squeeze in one round. So that's a really, really bad start for the series. But nothing can be said because that was just the first map. The second map will be right after this short break.
Came for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the wings, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
I know my destiny.
the ball. YouTube audience, our lovely audience, welcome back to the stream once again. Welcome back in Valorant Challenger South Asia, where these two teams are duking it out to find out who is going to be the most supreme one. As we do move inside the Asian select on the map of Ascent, and we see Marzil on the KO. Interesting. This time Flappin, though, he's going to be switching over to Chamber. What are we? I don't even think so. These are the actual Asian compositions that we're going to be seeing inside a serious matchup. Reckoning Esports are treating this matchup, I personally think, like an easy one.
I mean, the Chamber pick does surprise me. There was a point when the Chamber was a little too annoying to deal with, but then after the nerf, he is just irrelevant. I can't remember the last time I saw Chamber.
We saw once Chamber being picked in lock-in by Optic Yay, but they lost it.
Wait,
they lost the game.
Did Yay actually pick Chamber back then?
Yeah, he did in lock-in once. It was the map of Lotus where he tried to pull off Chamber, but they lost the map.
Yeah, that's why he's not in Cloud9 anymore. Sorry, that was a bit too dark. Maybe even a bit too soon for Yay fans. But, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to see Yay in action, hopefully, soon again. But for now, we've got Lethal versus Reckoning going up against each other. Reckoning already have a map in the bag, and they're starting on the attacking side. Let's see if Lethal can mount up a defense good enough to push this game to map number 3. Deadly, though. What on earth? What? Already inside the mid area. Meanwhile, Kel'Thuzad has pushed up mid. Both the teams flying right off the bat with such huge amounts of aggression. There's a back flank from Lethal Esports already in the works, and Reckoning haven't even planted the spike yet. It's up to Rossi, though. He's trapped here by himself. He's getting rushed down by all the members in the world. At least a burst helps him deal with the numbers.
Spike planted.
Spike planted. Now it's all down to the post plant. 4-on-3 scenario in which, of course, the attackers have a little disadvantage, and that's going to be in the name of Reckoning Esports. Master's quite close, holding a close line with the Classic. He's just waiting to burst out with the Classic burst. And unfortunately, he's going to get read out like a book. Shivy finds the opening. Again, now it's a 4-on-2 situation in which Reckoning Esports, they're just being trapped. They've got him in a deadlock, and they will be executed. Lethal, they start off once again strong in the pistol round.
Yeah, dude, I thought Reckoning would be the ones who bring the aggression right off the bat. And they did so, you know? You wouldn't expect a Raze to satchel in from the B main towards Market right off the hook. You would expect her to satchel in towards the site so that she could lead the team. But Deadly was hoping to cut off rotations before Lethal Esports could make a move towards the B site. Little did they know that Lethal wouldn't be rotating in via defender spawn, but via attacking spawn instead. Something that Reckoning never accounted for. Kel'Thuzad pushing heavily in towards top of mid at the very start. You've also got Lucio rotating all the way around. So this was really well played by Lethal Esports. But then again, we've always seen Lethal Esports start off well. And they continue this momentum because Deadly, he went for a very aggro fight. Roya at least gets a trade bad, but this timing is so unfortunate.
Unfortunate stuff. As you mentioned. And as we do have Marzil pretty much just posted up in the back in Winery. He really is relying heavily on his aim, but this time he will be deleted from the game. The aim game not working out. And Reckoning Esports just falling short because of the guns advantage. Because of the guns disadvantage. And the opponent's having a huge advantage. But what a shot from Hirsch. Disgusting display of skills. 2v1 scenario, a lot of guns taken off hands already.
We thought that Lethal Esports would have a good time given the weaponry advantage and the amount of frags they had. But Harsh has a fighting chance. Kel'Thuzad, on the other hand, leaves absolutely nothing to chance. Quad kill for this man. The young gun now firing on all cylinders. He did feel a little sad after his first game against Orangutan. Rightfully so. But the way he's able to get his mental game back together and go off on a blazing start like this will definitely do wonders for his momentum and his confidence. Something that they need both of in a game like this.
Lethal Esports, at least they're off to a good start. But as I said, in the anti-eco round, they lost a little bit too many guns, so that means the upcoming bonus round will be a little scrappy. And they are still going to opt out for the bonus. Lucia on the Sheriff, not sure if I'm a huge fan of that. They've got one man posted up way too close. The dash is not perfect. Unfortunately, he gets stuck on that little wall right next to him. The dash wasn't there. He wasn't able to slide out perfectly from B-Man, and he gets caught and taken out instantly. Execution's there. Reckoning Esports, they've got a good start.
Yeah. Nice elevation by Flabin, though. Lethal Esports have been adamant on pushing A main in the last 2 rounds, so it does make sense that Reckoning would hold an angle like such. But because this time Lethal Esports are playing on the back foot, Reckoning have the entire map to work with.
Right here.
They don't have any form of early aggression to deal with, so Reckoning get this space. They're preparing for an imminent A hit. Recon darts and 0 points both go flying inside. Should be clearing out all the corners possible, and Marzel, even though he was holding a rather safe angle, Flabin just deletes him as he walks across.
30 seconds left.
Lucia, I better hope he doesn't fight by himself. He would much rather wait for his teammates.
And that's what he does. 3 on 5. And Reckoning Esports, they've also got the side control established. As I said, of course, the gun's disadvantage was playing against the players of Lethal, and they will also need to pay the price for that. They're going to pretty much just lose out on this round. It seems like a flawless round coming in from them too. Reckoning Esports, they're playing this so disciplined. They're just going to let the players of Lethal Esports walk in their crossfires. Lucia's got a Phantom retrieved in his hands, and he still wants to go for the commitment no matter what, because Lethal Esports know in the upcoming round they do have the economy. Or no, he just wants to go for the exit frag. Finds 2, finds the 3rd one as well. That's huge, Lucia. A lot of damage dealt. And Reckoning Esports now in a huge uncomfortable spot. In the end, they do win it out, but still, with only 2 players, that's going to cost them a lot.
Quad kills on either side. Both these players trying to farm up their ult-tops as much as possible, but yeah, you gotta feel a little bad for Lethal over there. All the skills from Lucia, but it doesn't really help him create the impact. Consolation frags, that's what you can call them. But hey, at least it keeps Reckoning Esports a little humble. Because they have to reinvest all their money, only Deadly Den has any sort of economy which is building up. Flash and dash for Kel'Thuzad. And at the same time, they're crunching this area from B main as well, which forces Flabin to go all the way back to its spawn. But it leaves A vulnerable, and now Lethal can't really do much about the site. Rossi can try to deal damage with his nano swarms and by spamming through, but this site will inevitably belong to Reckoning.
Reckoning, they pretty much just do the same thing what they did previously. They're just replicating the similar pattern.
Down A.
Yeah, the orb was sent in. He will find the opening. That's a huge one too. Reckoning Esports, they're down to just a 3-man squad, but the trade game is just on point. Reckoning Esports, another round on the board. Here comes the counter for Lethal.
Yeah, Lethal tried some really cool moves this time around, and I would normally appreciate those. They try to be as disruptive as possible, you know? They try to flash through the smokes, flash through the cosmic divides, and get the kills onto Reckoning before they could plant. This is nice because when they start to plant, one of them is guaranteed out of action, and the remaining players have to protect that planter, which is the ideal moment to fight. The Lethal Esports timing was absolutely perfect, but unfortunately Reckoning Esports hold on to those assaults. They don't commit to the plant, they continue having their guns in their hands, and they prepare for Lethal Esports to make those moves.
Reckoning still just holding right on the edge. Not a lot of movement showed, but the presence is at least known. Lethal Esports should have a little clue what's going on near them. Flabin finds one. Huge one with the chamber operator to try and open the fray up. The recon dart as well is going to work out. But the shots from Rossi are just putting them in the coffin. Found 2. Huge one. Reckoning Esports not able to win those duels.
Reckoning falling prey to these sheriffs. The long arm of the law and the sharp aim of Rossi. You gotta be always on the lookout for those two. 40 seconds on the clock, and Reckoning have now no choice but to go in towards the peace site. They've got no control elsewhere. And look at the aggro positioning from Lucia. With him this deep inside A main, Lethal Esports know for a fact that Reckoning have to hit B. And you can see the delaying utility in place already. The smokes to keep them at bay. The recon dot will scan whoever else tries to enter. And the lockdown to make sure that there is absolutely no chance Reckoning can fight. By the time this lockdown is destroyed, there will be barely any time left, and Reckoning will have to hurry inside the site without having the time to clear all these corners.
Reckoning, they're completely fine with that lockdown, to be honest. There were a couple of little pockets that weren't being covered. by the lockdown. Man sneaking on the site, but it's not going to matter. He will be instantly dealt with. One last man up, Lucia with the Vandal in the hand, and also a huge dream to try and take this round back in the favor of Lethal Esports. But now we'll need to deal with a showstopper on his way. Gets taken down to 24. And Deadly 10. He does hear the teleport. A little mind games being played from Lucia. Will Deadly 10 fall for those mind games? That's a huge question. And he's still holding the lane. Deadly 10 has no clue that Lucia is lurking on the site, but now because of this fake tap, he definitely will have a little idea. Nade being sent, and this nade might just be the capitalizer, but no, it's going to be the answer. Lucia still stays alive.
Yeah, and at this point, they just have to run at each other. Deadly 10, knowing he's won the round already, will run it back. It doesn't matter if Lucia is able to get the frag or not. The round is secured, and it was so close. Lethal Esports almost pulled off this eco. And when the lockdown was committed, I had my heart in my mouth. I was basically sweating over there because there was barely any time left. And at one point, I was almost certain that Reckoning won't be able to plant in time. They had like milliseconds left on the clock when the spike was grounded. But still, even though it's a hair's breadth of a margin, Reckoning Esports get the round in the back, and that's all that matters. But Lethal, with some amazing economic damage, are able to humble Reckoning once again.
Speak about humbling them. Lethal Esports, once again, I mean, at least off the pistol round, they had a strong start, but they once again just let the lead fade away. Reckoning Esports, they get the lead back in their hands, and look at the amount of map control they've already established. The round just started, and they've found Flabin all the way in market. Interesting stuff coming in from the side of Reckoning Esports, and now they're really just trying to take the fight against Lethal. They realized, yeah, initially they did lose those deals, but now they're not scared of those.
Way too much map control taken by Reckoning Esports, and given away with just as much ease. It's a good thing that Kel'Thuzad re-clears market and he doesn't spot anyone over there. So at least now Lethal Esports are aware that Reckoning Esports are taking a step back. This gives Lethal the chance to reposition towards the A site. Completely in anticipation of this A deathfall execute along with the null command. A decent enough crossfire towards the bottom of Hell, but Lucia's already dealt with. Rossi tries to get the timing right, and he does take 2 down, but it's a bit too late. Kel'Thuzad isn't here in time, and Flabin's able to take his head off.
One thing's for sure, Rossi's stepping up huge inside Ascent. We've seen him trying to make those heroic plays so many times, but his teammates are just not able to follow it up with the trades. And that's a huge issue. The site's being cleared. I just love the strategy that Master showed. He put in a 0 point on the site, give 2 players position away, so he knew there are 2 players exactly on the site. But where are they? That's what they didn't know. As soon as they found out that there are 2 players holding the site, every single player from Reckoning just flooded in.
Yeah, leaving absolutely nothing to chance. Here we have it, another 0 point detected and 3 players caught in it. But do Reckoning fall back after being exposed like this? No, they don't. Marzel gets the frag that he wanted, falls back with it, and it just feels like Lethal Esports have been on ecos like these so many times.
Oh, Kel'Thuzad, a huge whiff! Does take down the man to 40 HP, but that whiff's pretty much just going to cost him his life. The flank's being caught as well. Flabin knows he's getting flanked around. Marzel was able to find the opening. His hand's quite hot, but let's see if he converts it into more. That's my question. Flabin catches another one. Woya, as always, he's going to try to create a little bit more impact, a little bit more difference, but in the end, we're equaled out to 2-on-2.
Hey, is it just me, or do Lethal Esports seem more lethal on eco rounds?
Yeah, they do.
I know, right? Always on these eco rounds, it boils down to 1v1s, 2v2s.
One enemy
Lucia's on a big enough flank, and he's recovered the gun too, but Marzel has to stop them. Fragments exchange, and this prevents Reckoning Esports from stepping into the site just yet, but they want to isolate these fights, and Marzel almost gave whatever they wanted to them, but here comes the flank from Lucia, and Master doesn't see this coming. But no, Master's already able to kill Marzel in the meanwhile, so only 1 gun is saved by Lethal Esports. This could have been a double gun save, better for their economy, but hey, at least they got the round, so beggars can't be choosers like this.
That's all they want. Lethal Esports' watch party, there's only 2 players.
Hey man, There's only two casters on this desk, and we are having a party of our own, so
That's
Numbers.
true. That's true.
numbers don't matter as much as long as the vibes are present.
2 people on Lethal Esports' panel watching the game and supporting them. Hey, every single support counts. At least they have 2 people supporting. I've got no one.
You got me, bro. You got me.
Thank you so much, man. Peace a lot.
Oh
Okay,
my god,
we're gonna-
you're getting all mushy on me, dude. You.
Technical timeout. Oh no, tactical timeout.
Yeah, Reckoning
From-
Esports needed
Yeah,
this
I don't
tactical
know.
timeout, you know, because Lethal Esports just seems so unrelenting on these eco rounds. It's like when they've got nothing to lose, they take all these weird risks, and everyone from Lethal Esports ends up in these super deep enemy positions, right? I wonder what's going to happen when they start executing stuff like this in buy rounds, when they've got the firepower to back it up.
3 to 4, man. And I know Lethal Esports, their firepower is definitely there. Aim is there. Unfortunately, the team play is always lacking. They're not able to read what the opponent's doing. And I just feel like this team needs a little bit more time with each other. They need a little bit of more practice.
I can't use
And
that.
they will be good to go on the upcoming maps too. But still on Ascent, we haven't really got the conclusion done. We haven't really decided anything on Ascent. It's just the first 5 rounds concluded so far. And Reckoning Esports is on 1 round's lead, which they're looking to convert into more. Kiltazad was found on the mid, so at least the mid opening's found. And Lethal Esports now, they're going to start to second guess their own decisions.
Yeah, but keep in mind that in round 6, oh, never mind, I'll get that reference in later. Hoya wants to get this frag, he's not able to. But hey, keep in mind that even in round number 5 or 6, Reckoning Esports tried to take mid plus B, and instead they ended up falling back and going towards A shot instead. So Lethal Esports are now still wondering if it is indeed a full-blown commitment. With the amount of information that Shivi's utility has given them, they are now sure that this is a full commitment, but Shivi's all by alone over here. Rossi's dead already, and Shivi has way too much pressure on his shoulders, too many people peeking him at once, and he will be overwhelmed eventually.
Lethal Esports, so far at least, I mean, they've got 2 players up and alive, but it does seem like they're going to go for a save because they have the operator in the hand and don't want to lose out on that op. Marzul's the one holding the op. He also has a null command available, and Lucia has it from the shadows, so that means in the upcoming round, Lethal Esports, there's a high chance they're pretty much just going to ultimate dump it just to get it in the hand.
Yeah, that could be possible. With so many ultimates available on the board for Lethal Esports, they can finally start to make those aggro moves. They've been doing similar stuff like this towards mid tiles, you know. Sometimes they have a flash and dash combination. Marzul tosses one over the tiles and Kel'Thuzad dashes in. In the pistol round, Kel'Thuzad was all the way towards top of mid. And even Lucia, for that matter, has been getting around really, really well. One would expect that with so many agents that can stop flanks on the hands of Reckoning Esports, I mean, they've got the Sova and the KO, which can gather information. Flabin's little trademark can stop anyone from flanking, and despite all that utility, Lucia's able to get into these backlines very often. So something Lethal Esports are getting right over here. They just need to figure out what that something is and keep on repeating it again and again.
You are divided.
Cosmic Divide being used quite aggressively on the A site. And Reckoning Esports, they've got 2 players lurking on the mid. Openings found. And Reckoning Esports have also found the side control, and that's all you need if you're in the hands of Reckoning Esports, but that Cosmic Divide's used so perfectly. All the info that the players of Lethal Esports need on the upcoming post plant, they're not going to have any sort of info. They're not going to know where the players are positioned.
Hunter's Fury, clearing out the more common angles, doesn't really get much done. At least they now figured out that there's 3 on site. But still, how will that information help them? Hoya is being such a menace! You wouldn't expect someone to be towards 3 this late into the round, but yet they do not anticipate him. And he gets so many.
Look at this replay, man. Flabin, these shots he's finding, and the fact that he's making chamber work. inside this meta
Yeah.
is
that
big in
too.
itself, and Lethal Esports, the amount of confidence the players of Reckoning Esports have against them is honestly disrespectful.
Yeah, man. Reckoning Esports running away with the lead in this half, and once again, Lethal find themselves staring down the brutal end of an eco. Let's see what kind of aggro plays they make in this round. Nothing so far. Nice spams connected. You've got Master Ball down to 44 HP.
I have a
Ooh.
spike down B.
Shock dart onto Master. That's a huge opening. Or at least an equalizer, if you'd like to call it.
Here.
Lethal Esports once again pushed back to an eco, and this is where Reckoning Esports might just start to sweat, because so far Lethal Esports have been so impactful on the eco rounds.
I wish they could continue this. Look at the read from Lethal Esports though. You've got Marzil deep inside A main. But as soon as Rossi loses his life towards B, all of them have to get back. Marzil's about to be intercepted.
One enemy remaining.
And Harsh takes care of him.
My ult's ready.
Nice shots by
30
Kiltazad. Maybe he
seconds
can upgrade his weapon, get a Vandal or something, but I don't think Boya's gonna let that happen. 73 Reckoning Esports already have won the half.
Huge. Reckoning Esports, oh boy. Even though on an eco, still, I mean, it's understandable why Reckoning Esports is still disrespecting him so much, because so far Lethal Esports has been creating a lot of difference inside those ecos. But in the end, as long as they get the round in the hand, that's all that matters. Reckoning Esports, another round established on the board. 7-3 is the score line. And Lethal Esports, I'm pretty sure they want to try and make it at least 7-5. But what's going on with Lethal here, Crips? Like, everything they're trying to bring to the table is just being countered so easily. And Reckoning Esports, they're not even have any sort of emotions on the face. They're just so stoic.
They are stoic, they are steadfast in their approach. Reckoning Esports this time, it's a very brave push by Deadly to stay up on top like that. So many angles you're exposed to. But on the plus side, you can peer all the way down towards the defender's spawn. So you can also see Lethal Esports rotate if they make those moves. But so far, Lethal Esports are playing heavily towards mid. Both Pizza as well as Market under control. No presence towards B whatsoever. And now they both peek at the same time. One from the left, one from the right. And Lethal Esports get a double kill right off the bat. A side under assault. Shibby can hold them back for now. Or rather, he can't. Rossi once again trying to go for the same plays that he did in the previous rounds. Unfortunately, there's no Marzil over here to flash him in.
The spam through the Radiant boxes just connects perfectly, shuts down the man in the back. They also get the side control once again in the hand. Reckoning Esports, they've got a man under heaven. It was Hoya on the Soa, gets taken care of easily, but now Hirsch is back in action. He has a man who's supporting him, that's Flabin. But finally, Lethal Esports, they make their presence known on the map of Ascent, and they get another round on the hand. As I said, 7-5 is probably the goal here. Let's see if Lethal Esports do obtain that.
Last round in the half.
Would be amazing if Lethal Esports can somehow bring it to 7-5. So far, Lethal Esports have looked like they have the read, but Reckoning Esports are almost always able to brute force their way through. In the last round, Lethal Esports have all the ultimates to work with too, 4 of them available. The lockdown and null command can thwart any sort of push by Reckoning in its tracks, so this better be utilized properly.
Placing sentry. Watch this.
7-4, and Lethal Esports, they've already tasted the blood. Reckoning now they need to be a little safe, and that's what they're trying to do. They have somehow gotten the mid control. Kiltazad is trying to find some angles, some off angles, updrafting with the jet with the knives. Trying to find some opening, but that's not going to be the case. The crack still hasn't been found. And you can see Flabin already with the op. It's posted up. The fragment was just so perfect. Rossi walks straight into that fragment and gets greeted by the damage of it. Flabin with the operator, heaven push instantly nullified, and Reckoning Esports, they're just repeating the similar pattern over and over again, and they're always getting the side control in the hand, and this is what I'm talking about. Lethal Esports with the read is so weak.
Oh my goodness. What on earth are these frags? Lethal have no way inside.
Last player standing.
And Shimmy gets peppered to death. We thought this would be a 7-5. We thought that maybe this is finally the map where Lethal Esports can get closer. But Reckoning Esports are just so steadfast in their approach. They're relentless in their pursuit of excellence, and these frags just keep going their way. I mean, at least in the first few rounds, we had Marcel trying to flash through that smoke near the switch and try to at least get a couple of kills with it. But now Marcel was not even present at the right time to make those kind of plays happen. Every time they went for those kind of plays, it was either Rossi or sometimes it was Shivy getting those double kills. But nothing of that sort happened in the last few rounds. And now you've got Reckoning with a massive lead.
Exactly, and well, again, ladies and gentlemen, that was it for the first half on at least the second map of Ascent, but we'll be back with the second half with this short break.
Can't for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Can't for my wings, I need my hands. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Valorant Challenger South Asia, driven by Hyundai. And again, the lifeline of Lethal Esports so far, at least in the first half, is once again fading away. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half. Are there any Lethal Esports believers?
Oh man, I think you just cursed any believers that might have existed, just driven them away. Flabin and Deadly 10 are getting all the frags, and the moment I say that, even Harsh chimes in with one of his own. He's like, Crips, you can't just name my teammates, man. You gotta give me some love too.
What just happened here? Hold on, man. I just blinked my eyes and you've got Shivy all by himself. Let's go, man. The believers, they kick in the chat.
Yikes.
Okay. Well, all right.
There's more than a minute left on the clock. Barely some 20-something, 30-something seconds have passed, and you've got Lethal Esports already 6 feet under.
Yeah. Oh boy. Well, I guess I shouldn't have really asked that question, man.
I know, right?
So it's just like
it's your fault, Necro. It's your fault. You're the
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. All the Lethal believers, I'm so sorry. I know. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything. We move on forward. 9-4 is the score line. You know what? Lethal Esports, they're going to make a comeback. I want some copium.
Yeah, copium, hopium. Any sort of miracles that you believe in, any higher power that you believe in, this is the time to activate those beliefs. I mean, not this particular round, you know, because Lethal Esports are on an eco, but maybe the next one.
Cap. That's a huge cap.
I'm glad that Lucia doesn't get burned alive by that fragment. I mean, if he tried to make that crossing, the rest of his teammates will have also had to peek and try to fight alongside him. But at least Marcel's gotten all the way into its 3. He might be able to get a surprise kill. He gets 2 of them. That's brilliant.
He's running. He's running and gunning with the Sheriff. How does that even work out? I thought Spectres are the supreme ones inside this SMG's round, where you're going to try to run and gun your opponents down, but Marcel just proves me wrong, and he replicates that similar strat with the Sheriff. Finds 2. Crazy stuff. 2v2 scenario, and Lethal Esports, they have an equal chance over here. What do you think, Crips? Are they going to win this?
30 seconds left.
I think Lethal can. They've acquired the weapons again. Spectres on either side. Flavin's trap gets destroyed, so he's going to have to make a move with his trademark now. Can he do
I
it?
think that's cap.
Lucia's all by himself. One already jumps towards his right hand side, and he's getting pincered, man. Lured out into the open.
Especially when you know one of your players quite low. The only way you should play it is either crossfire or either trades. And unfortunately, they gave those battles one after the other, and they end up losing that entire round. Another round on the board for Reckoning Esports. And yeah, the CIS supremacy, it carries on forward inside the South Asian region too.
Yeah, dude. Voya and Flabin are just really making a statement over here. Flabin especially already on the 20 frag mark. He's playing Chamber. An agent that I haven't seen in, what, 2-3 months now? When was he nerfed? Last year, right? I haven't seen anyone play Chamber in 2023.
I mean, as I said, Reckoning Esports, they just have a lot of confidence against their counterparts.
Yeah.
And this amount of confidence is almost disrespectful.
Almost.
Chamber being pulled out. And Reckoning Esports, they're on the search for some heads.
Yeah. I mean, Reckoning are the ones with inferior weaponry this time, so it makes sense that they would try to play aggressively, especially when they've got nothing to lose. But Lethal Esports are playing so passively simply because they want to avoid traps like these. But how can they avoid stuff like this when Deadly is just getting wallbang kills one after the other? I mean, usually you see wallbang kills like this with an Odin, not with a Sheriff.
Out of charges, placing swarm grenade.
Oh, okay. A good start for Rossi. Definitely a start they were searching for.
No more.
And look at this, another one followed up. Rossi single-handedly, as I said, he is there from the side of Lethal Esports. He is trying to make some difference. But he's the only one who's activated, and that's a huge problem. And look at this! The timing is in the favor of the players of Reckoning Esports, and now in the end, we're dialed down to a 2-on-2 scenario. Lethal Esports left it out to clutch once again. Even though the players of Reckoning, they had a huge gun disadvantage, they still make something happen out of nothing.
Last player standing.
Flabin. Big kill. Rossi was supposed to be the difference maker in this round. He would have expected to get a kill or two towards Market by flanking them. Something that Voya was doing in Pearl. But now because he gets caught, it's just Kel'Thuzad left all by himself. The spike is planted in a place where one would suspect that he's towards Market, but they've already got this cleared. And Kel'Thuzad has to pull off the clutch of a lifetime. He has to go up against Flabin, who's been feeling himself, and he does it!
Nice
Kel'Thuzad
shot.
with a crucial clutch, extending a lifeline for Lethal Esports.
This is the comeback story. I'm telling you right now. A comeback story
No more.
that will be remembered in the history of South Asia. I know I'm on some cope.
Yeah, that's some grade A opium, dude.
Yeah,
Lethal
I need
Esports
to
are
stop
gonna
capping.
Yeah, even Lethal Esports will need a little bit of it. 5-round deficit, and Lethal are just starting to get over their economic deficit in the first place. Reckoning, though, have got money for days, so they don't hesitate rebuying at all. A broken buy to its Lethal Bulldogs, Shorties, whatever they can afford. At least the Bladestorm delivers.
And Kel'Thuzad is starting to feel it himself. He's found the opening.
Here.
At least he's managed to make a little crack in the wall of Reckoning. The defense does seem a little cracked up, at least for now. With the knives off their duelist. But Flabin evens it out, seals it up. Knife still on to play. A-main, it does seem like the hit's going to be coming in soon enough. And Kel'Thuzad, he is probably going to be the man to make an entry inside the site. Does have 2 Cloud Burst available. We'll try to line them up one after the other. And he has to be the man who's they're relying on so heavily. But Hirsch, he reads it so perfectly. Spams in right on the main side and perfectly finds one with the spam. Kel'Thuzad barely is able to sneak in that kill.
At least he's cleared the pathway for his teammates. Brings it back to a 3v3, although Kel'Thuzad's already got 1 foot in the grave. But he's still delivering. He's still getting all these frags. And he's pushing them back. Flabin looking to catch someone off guard. He finds Kel'Thuzad, puts his killing spree to an end. But now both the members of Reckoning are separated. Trading potential not that great, but Rossi, he should have respected the crossfire he had with Shivi. And that leaves poor Shivi all by himself. He's been discovered. He's getting peppered again and again. And Reckoning Esports bring it back.
You know, this is where those one of those motivational videos will really help Lethal Esports.
Huh?
Remember one of those? The lights are cut off! You're reviving your dream again and again and again!
Dude.
But you say, it's not over until I win.
That video is for hopeful entrepreneurs with failing startups. not
Yeah,
with
but-
teams who are struggling with financial weaponry disadvantage.
I mean, finance is finance.
Finance is finance, but yeah. You might say it's not over until I win, but very soon the match will be over. Reckoning are this close to map point.
Damn, Crips. You're really out here throwing facts. Let's try to support Leaf a little bit here. You know, let's try to be a little hopium over here. Let's try to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
I can try to be that, but what's gonna happen when Flappen has that big bad tour de force and he is just dispensing death and destruction all over the place? And now comes Warrior.
Chibi is absent. And, nice shot.
Yeah.
Warrior shut down. That's a big one. And we know, whenever it's an eco round, we've always seen Lethal Esports just rise from the ashes, or at least there's a huge chance they will rise from the ashes. And Chibi this time, at least he was the casualty, but instantly they were able to find a little trade.
At least they bring it back to a 4v4, so... Nah, never mind. Marzel was supposed to be on a massive flank, but the 0 point detects him. He's still going for that frag. What a snap onto Master! Finally, Deadly silences him, but now Deadly's cut off from the action
30 seconds
while he was
left.
busy marking mid. Lethal Esports sneak into the B site, and now they've got the plant.
Down. You should run.
11-5, lockdown invested.
No charge.
And Lethal Esports, they really just want to win this round. Kiltazar, what a shot.
Remaining.
Puts Deadly 10 to sleep. And now Lucia realizes there's a man on the site. Oh boy. The amount of patience and discipline that's Reckoning showing is crazy. Flappen didn't even peek out until the man made these presence known inside the side. And that's when he decided to peek out. Oh boy,
Exactly.
Lethal Esports.
Exactly, right? Lucia was in a power position of sorts. I mean, to clear out that position, you will have to either peek really wide out of the defender spawn area, ignoring the second lane, or you just take your chances in a duel like that. But because Reckoning just flood the site and kill everybody back there with the showstopper, the showstopper was kind of useless, it got destroyed right off the bat. But yeah, because Reckoning Esports flood the back site, Lucia was forced to move. And you wouldn't expect Flappen to be this patient, right? Lucia was waiting for his opportunity, but they never gave it to him.
Alright. A huge change in the pace this time, though. So silent. The only thing you can hear is Killjoy's turret.
And now the recon. Oh, but all of a sudden there's way too much noise and chaos.
Oh.
Oh yeah, though, this is unfair, man. He's got no visual, no right to pull off frags like these, but with a simple blind spray and intuition, he puts Lethal Esports in their
my
graves.
God,
And yet
what?
another one. Lucia tries to be the savior, but Reckoning Esports are mopping the floor with them. They don't have time to dig 6 feet, man. They dig them a shallow grave and run into the finals.
What? They didn't even have any sort of visual. They took down 4 players without any visual. Alright, Reckoning Esports, they're definitely here on the South Asian stage to make a statement, and they have made a statement. Reckoning Esports with a dominating win against their opponents, Lethal Esports. They proved themselves that they are one of the strongest contenders the South Asian stage has ever seen.
Reckoning Esports really making a statement over here. Lethal Esports, on the other hand, they have got to be devastated. One of the only lineups in this league which has all 5 Indian players, and so far they've lost both their opening games against a team of 3 Indians and 2 imports. Whether it's Orangutan or whether it's Reckoning Esports, Lethal Esports find themselves with their backs against the wall, their feet firmly on the ground at the bottom of the scoreboard.
Man, guess my motivational quote didn't really work for Lethal Esports. I'm a little
was
sad
never
about that.
gonna work. It doesn't work in real life either.
Alright guys, we're gonna push to a short break. We'll be right back after this break though. Don't go anywhere.
Can't for my wings, I need my eggs. This life is real, can't play pretend. Came off the beach, I get it in.
The all-new i20, born magnetic.
Making dreams come true and memories happier.
On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that limit squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up, way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. On track, now we gon' way up, way up. Now we gon' way up, now we going. better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage as they sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Pray up. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. On track, now we gon' way up. Now we gon' way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this is 7 seas. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we gon' way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along. I might book a session, do 100 songs. I'ma let you hear them just to prove you wrong. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. Keep the same energy. Work on being better when I'm 70. Your drip is just a water spring. You know I drip different, this the 7 C's. I deal with life different, make that lemon squeeze. Went off for my style and identity. Better bounce back and get the cheddar cheese. I guess that's why they envy me. On track, now we going way up. W's as easy as a layup. Working late, stay up. Counting all the way up. Counting blessings, yeah, you know we pray up. Way up, pray up. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. On track, now we going way up. Now we going way up. Now we going. I got his band like I'm Barry Bonds. Running through the money, but the money's long. I don't love it, but I need it, keep it coming on. Only friendly, me and friends, we don't get along. I put that on my name, that I put them on. I put myself on stage and say sing along.